Weighted hangboarding is something I've wanted to test out for a long time now. Over the past few months, I've worked my way up to smaller and smaller edges, starting with the 40mm on the Beastmaker 1000, and now getting to the point where I can almost hang for 10 seconds on the 8mm edge. Seeing solid progression in my finger strength directly from hangboarding, I started wondering if it would help to accelerate my improvement if I added some weight to my hangboarding sessions. So today, I thought I might as well test out the max weight I could muster for each of the edges, starting with the 30mm on the Beastmaker 2000, all the way down to a 10mm edge. I thought about possibly trying some weight on the 8mm, but with how short my body weight hangs are on those, I decided to wait a couple more months before going for it. I started out the session with some simple warm-ups, getting the fingers, shoulders, and lats loose for the test. I had set some basic goals in my head for how much weight I wanted to achieve for 10 seconds on each edge, so I'll run through those really quick. For the 30mm, I was hoping to get at least 50 pounds for 10 seconds. For the 20mm, I wanted 40 pounds. For the 15, I wanted 35 pounds. And for the 10mm, I was shooting for at least 20 pounds for 10 seconds. After an adequate warm-up, I started moving up in weight, starting with 30mm. For the first set, I threw on 25 pounds to see how it felt, which unsurprisingly, it felt pretty light. After that, I threw on another 15 pounds, which also ended up being pretty mild for a 10-second hang. So following that, I went for a jump up to 55 pounds, which ended up being perfect, seeing as the last 3 seconds, my pinkies pieced out and left me hanging on just 3 fingers. Overall, pretty solid considering I wanted at least 50 pounds, so I moved on to the 20mm edge for my next set of hangs. For the first set, I managed 25 pounds pretty easily, so I quickly moved up to 30. I got super confused here because I can't see the clock when I'm on the Beastmaker 1000, so I thought I accidentally got 8 seconds, but looking back, I actually ended up with 13. Even though I was able to go over 10 seconds with 30 pounds, I wasn't super confident going up much more, so I went for 35 on the last one, which ended up being pretty close at just 11 seconds. After that, I jumped back over to the Beastmaker 2000 for the 15mm edge. Now, the only other time I've ever tried doing weighted hangs, I strictly worked on this edge, so I already had a pretty good idea of what I should be shooting for. I started off with a pretty light 10 pounds, which surprisingly actually felt pretty tough. Regardless though, I still moved straight up to 25 pounds for the next set, as that is what I had been able to do the other time I had tried these weighted hangs. 25 obviously felt significantly harder, but I was pretty confident I would be able to get one more set at 35. This ended up being exactly at my limit, and I had to bail right as the clock hit 10 seconds. Feeling pretty proud of myself, it was time for the hardest sets I had planned, the 10mm. Now, prior to this specific session, I had never really trained on anything smaller than the 15mm consistently, so moving down to the 10mm and throwing weight on at the same time was going to be kind of a challenge. Just like the 15mm, 10 pounds on this first set felt pretty limit for me, but I knew I could push myself a little further, so I found myself a 5 and a 2.5 pound plate to throw on to take me up to 17.5 pounds total. This was easily the hardest hang of the session, and I was just barely able to get past 10 seconds, but following those, I was actually feeling pretty good, so I decided on one more set of hangs, doing the 2 finger pockets just for fun. These are actually some of my favorite hangs at 25mm, and I started off feeling pretty confident with 25 pounds. Not being able to see the clock again, I ended up with 13 seconds, but because these ones absolutely shred my skin, I decided on just doing one more set at 30 pounds for my last hang. Overall, I was pretty proud of how my first weighted hangboarding session went, although I didn't quite hit my goal of 20 pounds on that 10mm edge. This got me really excited for some weighted training going forward, so I'll definitely be putting a video out in the next month or two, going over the pros and cons of weighted hangs once I've adequately tested it for myself. If any of you guys have experience with using weight on the hangboarding, I would love to hear your feedback on this, as well as what your personal best is on certain edges, so leave me a comment below on that. Also, if you think I'm weak as shit for the weight I added, I would also like to see some shade in the comments. It's always a good time. Now all that was left was seeing how climbing felt after this training, so let's jump over to that real quick.
All right, so I'm now jumping over to the Kilter Board here. I'm gonna spend pretty much the whole session over here. I felt pretty good from those weighted hangs. Pretty proud of the 10mm. I thought 15 or 17 pounds was pretty good. So hopefully the Kilter session goes well. I cranked it up to 40 degrees because, like always, I need to improve on the footwork and just keeping tension on these incline walls. So yeah, I'll warm up on some 3s, 4s, and 5s, get those going, and then hopefully we can send at least 1 or 2 7s today. I'll try an 8 as well, but yeah, should be a good session. I'm feeling pretty good so far. It's always super funny reading like comments and logs on the Kilter board, because like even though it says that you can match on this one, there's still people like so ashamed of themselves for matching on certain holds. But like if you can't match, it has like the no match symbol, so I don't know, it's pretty funny. This is a cool climb though. Nice finish, and that crossover was pretty sick. So close on that one. I honestly didn't expect that last hole to be like a mini jug. It was pretty good. Should have trusted it more. Damn it. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna move on from this one. That's frustrating. Honestly, that one was pretty soft. I'd probably give it a V6, but sent it. That one felt good. That was a solid 7. First attempt was like up to that second to last hold. Second and third, terrible. Couldn't even get the first move. I went back and looked at the comments on this one. Honestly, favorite thing about the Kilter board, people are just funny as fuck in the comments. This one guy was just like straight up, my ass is too big for the first move, which like fair enough. If you're a big guy, that's a hard first move. So the guy like thanked the Biden administration for his send on this one. I don't know what that's about. And then my favorite one was this guy just said dog shit. That's all. I don't know. People are funny. I love the Kilter board. I don't even need like YouTube or TikTok. Just comments on the Kilter board app. It's a good time. Oh, God. That moves so fucking hard. So right hand's not very good, and then you're going to a left that's even worse. And it's like, do I want to get my feet all the way up on the high one? Or do I want to keep it low and like dyno for the crimp? I don't know. That's tough. I'll try one more time, but not a lot of faith here. Oh, God, there's no way. Honestly, pretty fun 8 overall. I think I could, maybe get it with another session or 2, especially if I'm fresh, because I'm pretty cooked at this point. So, but yeah, good sends. Honestly, the fact that I'm getting pretty close on this 8 and I was barely able to get one moonboard 6 benchmark. Kind of why in the last video I was like, Kilter just doesn't seem that much harder than my gym. Moonboard was so much harder. I think one of the main reasons is because I really like crimping. I full crimp literally everything, no matter what hold it is, which is not good. I'm trying to break the habit, but I really like the holds on the Kilter board. I'm gonna crank up the degrees up to like 30 so I can give my skin a little bit of a break and still get some more sends in, but yeah, we'll see how those go. It's a sick ass dyno move. That feels so good if you get high enough. Let's go. These are soft, dude. Very soft 7. Once I go past like 35 degrees, it just gets so much easier. It's pretty insane. Well, I think I'm gonna call it there. That was pretty good. It was a pretty successful day. I think I got three different 7s. We got pretty close on a couple 8s, so it was pretty good. I'm gonna just keep cranking the angle up on these boards. I gotta get the tension going. I gotta get the form on these incline walls. So yeah, good session overall. Let me know what you guys think about the Kilter board. I feel like it's kind of soft, especially compared to the moon board. But like I said, the moon board's got so many pinches and like slopey holds compared to the crimps that they have on the Kilter board. So I have no idea. I thought it was pretty solid, but Kilter board's fun. If anyone wants to try these climbs, I had those thrown up while I was climbing. So let me know if you guys do any of these and if they're soft or not, because I feel like some of the 7s I sent were pretty soft, especially the one I flashed. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and leaving that comment for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, and make sure you get outside and send some climbs. That's what it's all about. See you guys.